Next, there is one of the mechanism to be discussed of alcohol and thionyl chloride, SOCl2. Now we have already done this reaction. When ROH reacts with SOCl2 in the presence of pyridine, reflux pyridine, it gives you RCl with HCl and SO2 evolved off as gases. This is the best and the efficient method to prepare alkyl chloride called Darzin's method. Here there are two mechanisms, one in the presence of pyridine and other in the absence of pyridine. अब क्या होता है इन दोनों रिएक्शन में, we'll understand with the mechanism. Listen, I am writing an alcohol with a three-dimensional arrangement, that is tetrahedral structure. Let's say I have R, H, R dash and OH. Secondary alcohol I have taken. It has a reaction with thionyl chloride. The structure of thionyl chloride is S, double bond O, Cl and Cl. Now if you look at the substrate, is the substrate ka OH a good living group? No. So it won't directly react with the thionyl chloride. But in thionyl chloride, is Cl a good living group? Yes. So what happens over here, the OH ka oxygen lone pair gets donated to sulfur. Why? Because sulfur and oxygen is polarized because of the difference in electronegativity. So the moment it attacks the sulfur, it will kick out the Cl minus as a good living group. So this Cl minus and the H plus would be eliminated, giving you HCl. Finally, what happens here is we get R, C out of the plane. This is behind the plane, R dash. Uske baad what we have is O bonded with sulfur, double bond O and Cl. Correct? Now in the thionyl chloride there are two chlorides and both are good living groups. So in the first step the Cl minus is left with the H plus. Next step maybe the Cl minus has a tendency to leave the reaction. If it leaves, then this Cl minus can attack the carbon, and this carbon is already having a delta plus. So there is an attack of the nucleophile on the electrophilic carbon within the molecule. The moment it attacks the carbon gives away the electron to oxygen. Oxygen in turn gives away the electron to sulfur. Finally, this will get eliminated as sulfur dioxide and the Cl minus bonds in the place of OH. Finally, the product of this reaction would be R, Cl here, the R dash and H. Now what we observe here is the Cl has attacked from the front side, and because of that the product is 100% retention. 100% retention. This is the only reaction where we get 100% retention of configuration, and this is a mechanism which is given a special name called SNI. SNI. I matlab internal. I is what? Internal. Yeah, specifically you can also remember intramolecular. You can clearly see the Cl minus, which was a good living group, attacked the carbon of the substrate within the molecule and kicked out the sulfur dioxide, which is again a good living group. SO2 as a neutral molecule is a good living group. So it eliminates the sulfur dioxide and forms this particular compound. Correct? But if the same reaction is now carried out in the presence of pyridine, pyridine is a weak Lewis base and it's an aromatic compound with nitrogen included in the ring. Okay? So now as a Lewis base, once again it can attack electrophile. Which is the electrophile? S. Because S के साथ जो Cl है, that can leave the reaction quite easily, na? So this pyridine का nitrogen attacks the sulfur, again kicking out the Cl minus. Now what does it give? It gives R, front, back, we have H, R dash, and then O, S double bond O, coordinated with nitrogen, and the entire ring will be placed here. Correct? And the Cl minus is present here. Now the moment here the pyridine gets bonded to the sulfur, the Cl minus as a nucleophile has a tendency to attack the electrophilic carbon here. But now, is the attack possible from this side? No. Pyridine actually is used to increase the bulkiness of the substrate. So now the front side attack is not possible. It will attack from the back side and will result into the product which is now 100% inversion. 100% inversion. In fact, the attack of the Cl minus and this part leaving takes place simultaneously. I have shown it separately, but this is actually a concerted mechanism. Concerted मतलब सब कुछ एक ही step में होता है, and that's why this is following SN2 mechanism, which is resulting into 100% inversion called Walton's inversion. तो अब Cl जो है that will be appearing this side, which will be having R, H and R dash like this. ठीक है?